This is why patterns break. This is why they fail. This is why you need to be paying attention to what is happening in the market, not necessarily just what's happened. Hello everybody, my name is Thor Young. I'm a moderator of Bear Bull Traders, and I'd like to do a recap for you today. Before I get started on my recap, I want to take a moment, say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Obviously tomorrow, market close, Thanksgiving, Friday half day. So this is kind of going to be the end of our trading week for the most part, but had a really good trading day today. Only traded 2 tickers today. One got 1R on it and out. The next one got a really nice run on it for about 4R. Going to close out my day total for 5. Not all bad, to be honest. Really excited about that. One thing that came into my attention today was that the volume on the market itself was really low. Most of this, I think, probably because we're going into the holidays. So it really forced me to really look around and focus on stocks that I really thought had opportunity, but not necessarily, might not necessarily be something I would look at otherwise, but I thought things were going to be good. So anyway, on to the trades. So you can see here on NEO, I took a trade here at the open. NEO bounced off of this candle at the open. Looked like it was going to go pretty good. I went long on NEO. I was targeting previous day's close. I actually threw a partial at previous day's close, but it didn't fill until it got all the way back down to 41.90, just because, you don't always get the fill you want. So, and it stopped there, and then the rest went out at break even. So I made just shy of an R on this one. So I was starting off a little rough, wasn't entirely sure how we were going to go, but flipped over to JWN, which I had my eye on from the beginning. And JWN, as you can see here on my 1 minute, ended up being an absolutely fantastic play for me. So what happened on JWN? JWN Nordstrom's, they've got earnings today. So this is the main reason I focused on it, because if nothing else, with a low volume, at least I had a catalyst here. Maybe I can focus on. One thing I really noticed was on the level 2, we had a lot of orders that were congregating around $25. Let me grab my epic here. So I'm talking up here, and this, wow, that's a really big epic. Hold on one second. Let's dial that dot down a little bit. I'm talking right up here around $25. So when I looked over to my level 2, I could see at $25 we had a pretty solid amount of sellers that were congregating there. So this made this area very, very important to me. How do I know there were a lot of sellers there? Look at the volume by price. Look at that big price level that appeared right there at $25. This is one of the reasons. Yesterday we talked about level 2 and how important it is. This is another reason why your level 2 is so important. As I look to the level 2, I see sellers at 25, but I don't see a lot above 25, right? So generically, if I'm seeing a level 2 that has a very solid, obvious area of selling or buying, and then beyond that, I see very, very little, right? Then that's going to be my target for what I'm intending to do, right? My target in this instance is I want to pull back on the overall trend, which, as you can see on my daily chart, very gap down on JWN, right? I want to let a pullback happen as the imbalance comes in and retailers make decision, and then I want to short once the selling starts, right? So, and that's what happened, right? We ended up having a quick rally right at the open. We squeezed on high volume right to $25, hit those sellers, turned over, and I saw the selling come across the tape. As soon as it did and it came through 25, I went ahead and went short. I dropped my my order just behind me by about a nickel, and I use a hot button for this. So normally what I'll do is I'll use the high of my candle, but since this one's selling off quickly, I decided I'd go ahead and use a different hot button, which this hot button, if you look down here on your right, is a short at 5 cents, short $100 at 5 cents. So basically what that means is it's going to trigger me short instantly at wherever price level I'm at, and it's going to drop a stop a nickel behind me. So it's going to take however many shares I can take with a nickel stop, basically, and my buying power to the downside. So about a nickel stop on this by the time I was done, got a really nice drop. First partial right at 24.35 where I saw a bid building. We got another partial at open price, and then another partials in front of the larger orders down to pre-market low. And that's where I find myself holding now. And as you can see here, we've now bottomed out a little bit as we move down to this level here. And I've actually added back in at value, looking for a continued drop down. We are squeezing against me a bit, but since I had so much space in this, I left my stop wide. If we actually firmly reject VWAP, I may add in a little bit more and tighten that stop, but for now, I'll just let that marinate. It's only 10% of my position that's left over, so I'm not really looking for a lot out of it. But if JWN decides to trend down the rest of the day and really loses it and goes to 21 bucks, wouldn't be a bad thing to carry a couple hundred shares. You know what I mean? So anyway, this is my trades today. Only took 2 trades. Like I said, JWN, almost a quasi rising devil kind of trade. The only difference is I actually traded this off of VWAP. But again, this is the reason why level 2 is so critically vital. Because of the level 2, I could recognize that our liquidity was low and that we only really had one big selling area above. So I allowed the price to squeeze to that selling area, and then I shorted the selling area. Right? And this is very important. If you were just using a pattern alone, what you would see would be an aggressive bullish breakout from pre-market high. You would likely be thinking this was going to long, and as it pulled back and sold off to VWAP, you would have been longing at VWAP for a break, right? Not realizing, right, that all of the selling that was going to happen has already occurred at that level, and we're never going back. We're actually now going to head lower. And it's very, very important to stay cued into these things. This is why patterns break. This is why they fail. This is why you need to be paying attention to what is happening in the market, not necessarily just what's happened, right? So I hope that was a good recap for everybody to close out the week. If you have a moment, please like the channel, subscribe, ring that bell. Certainly appreciate that. Hope everyone else had a really solid trading week this week, and I look forward to seeing you all after the Thanksgiving holiday. As always, everyone, have a great one and keep it green. Thanks.